Hey there, writers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I write contemporary romance. I'm based in the UK. Today, I was just wanting to have a little bit of a rant, a mini rant, if you will, something that grinds my gears and I think can genuinely make writers feel bad about themselves if they are struggling a bit with writing. And that is the idea that anyone can write a book or that everyone has a book in them. That second one actually sounds a little bit painful, possibly, to be honest. But you know what I mean. I'm sure that you've all heard it. And I just don't think that it's true for a start. And I don't think that it is a useful thing to say. Looking at it logically, there was a study that was done a little while ago, and it said that 80% of people at some point in their lives at least consider writing a book. So, looking at it from that point of view, you've got a whole 20% of people who never even consider the idea of writing a book at all, for a start. And then you've got 80% who maybe just consider it briefly, like, oh, this would make a good story, or oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. Imagine if I wrote that as a book. Obviously, a huge percentage of those people are not going to write a book. And when I say write a book, I mean actually write a complete manuscript that is fully edited. I'm not talking about getting it traditionally published or getting an agent or anything like that. A finished manuscript of a full-length book of some kind, whether it be fiction or non-fiction, that completely makes sense, has a narrative. So I'm not talking typing I am a fish and just pasting it like however many thousands of times you need to get to your word count. So so what we've established is that 20% of people never even consider doing this, and then you've got the 80% that have considered it at some point. The amount of work that it takes, as anybody who has even attempted to write a book knows, when it comes to the whole process, is just absolutely huge. It normally takes months, if not years, to complete a manuscript. Sometimes it can take that long just to get a first draft, and that can be quite a messy first draft, and it might need to be gone over time and time again to get a finished product. So my next point is, people who say that anybody is capable of doing this. Have you left the house and met people recently? Have you actually been around people? Yeah, just no. There are going to be plenty of people out there who would never write a book, who would not want to put the effort in for a start, or who wouldn't have the determination to keep going when it gets hard, when it's not the fun bits like the outlining or the writing the acknowledgements or writing the first chapter, which is something that I really enjoy doing. You know, there are definitely days when people who writing a book do not want to sit down and deal with the mess that they have got themselves into. And plenty of people will give up if they even do try to write a book at this stage. There are also people for whom they've have all the good intentions, they're willing to put in the hours, but for whatever reason, their life just isn't at a point where they are able to finish a book for whatever reason. And so by saying that anybody can write a book, when somebody who is working on a book and who is maybe getting towards the end of it, and it's really tricky, like bringing together all of those different threads of the narrative and things, when they hear that, well, it really is undermining what they're doing and how hard it is. So what I would like you to take away from this little rant is that writing a book is difficult. And if you have done it, or if you are in the middle of doing it, you should be really, really proud of yourself. And you shouldn't think that it is something that just anybody can do, because it's not. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of imagination to come up with a good story to begin with, not just an idea for a story, but enough to carry through an entire manuscript, however many thousands of words that is. To write it to the extent that there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. There are plot points. It makes sense, and it all comes together, and all the other things that go into a book, like the characters that actually have to interest at least the writer enough that they continue wanting to tell their story until the end of the manuscript. It is by no means something that anybody can do. Us writers, we're special. We're talented, and we are determined, and we are full of creativity, and we need to celebrate that and appreciate that what we do is special, and it really is something that not everybody can do. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this little what grinds my gears today. I don't always have a rant in my videos, sometimes I do, but make sure that you subscribe, because you never know, there could be another rant very soon and you wouldn't want to miss it. And I will catch you in my next video.